صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. The chapter that deals with the Prophet's ﷺ performing wudu at the time of eating. And we have two hadiths. The first one is narrated by Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Prophet of Allah ﷺ came out once after answering the call of nature, whereupon a meal was presented to him. And they said, "Should we not bring you the water for minor ritual ablution?" The Prophet replied, "I have only been commanded to perform the minor ritual ablution when I get ready for the ritual prayer." The following hadith, also narrated by Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father, the Prophet ﷺ came once out of answering the call of nature, and when he defecated, the Prophet was presented with a meal to eat. Again he was asked, "Will you not perform ablution?" The Prophet said, "Am I about to perform prayer so that I should perform a ablution?" In these two hadiths, the Prophet ﷺ is teaching us that it is mandatory to perform wudu or ablution when you want to pray. And he is fixing the misconception that some of us may have, that you always have to be in the state of ablution, even before you eat your food. And these misconceptions, unfortunately, are quite common among the Muslims. A lot of the Muslims in the subcontinent believe that a woman must not eat food unless she's wearing the hijab. And this is preposterous. This is ridiculous. It's not part of Islam. They even say she must not enter the toilet without covering herself properly. What is this? Why not force them also to have a total bath and shower in a three-piece suit? Might as well. Where is this from the Quran or from the Sunnah? There's nothing related to it. It's just a cultural thing. It's just Simon says, do this. And the poor women, they comply. Because all these ignorant men in their family, in the masjids, all around them say, "Oh, you have to cover your hair." From who? "It's my father, it's my brother." So yes, you have to still cover yourself, wear the hijab. Subhanallah. Why not shroud her in her kafan as if she's going to be buried, as if she's going to be buried alive? This is not from Islam. You are obliged to wear the hijab when you go out or when you're exposed to non-mahrams. Other than that, you can freely roam and move in your house without covering yourself, except as normal people do, as men do. Without covering your hair, your arms, your legs, there's no necessity for that. And likewise, when it comes to the issue of wudu, the Prophet ﷺ is teaching us, if you want to pray, you perform wudu. Just because I came out of the toilet doesn't mean I have to perform wudu. Is it recommended? Yes, it is recommended, and it's also recommended to pray 2 rak'ahs. Because the Prophet said in other hadiths that wudu is not observed to be always on except by a believer. And the hadith of Bilal walking in front of the Prophet ﷺ in paradise, and the Prophet asking him, "Why is that? I heard your flip-flops in front of me in paradise." He said, "I don't know. The only thing I could maybe justify this by is that whenever I answered the call of nature, I used to make wudu, and I feel that I'm obliged and it's a right to Allah that I pray 2 rak'ahs." So this is recommended, but it is not an obligation. The following chapter deals with the words that the Prophet ﷺ used to say before and after eating. Mother Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, says that the Prophet ﷺ said, if one of you eats and forgets to mention the name of Allah, let him say, Bismillahi awwalahu wa akhirahu. And the following hadith also indicates what you should say before eating. Umar ibn Abi Salama, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father, said that he went to see the Prophet ﷺ, who had a meal before him. So he said to him, the Prophet said to this young child, Umar, "O my dear son, pronounce the name of Allah, eat with your right hand, and eat what is directly in front of you." So saying Bismillah is, according to the most authentic opinion of scholar, is mandatory. So you should say Bismillah before you eat, before you drink. Why? First of all, because this is in compliance with the order of the Prophet ﷺ. Secondly, because this is to attain the blessing and barakah of Allah the Almighty Azza wa Jal. Thirdly, to block Satan and the devils from eating with you. And that's why we're told that whenever you don't mention the name of Allah, then the devils share your food with you. And this is something we cannot see with our own eyes, but definitely we believe as it is pure facts and reality of life. The Prophet is the one who told us about it, alayhi salatu wasalam. So we believe without any shred of doubt that this is true. So before you eat or drink, you say Bismillah. What happens if you forget? Sometimes we start eating or drinking, and in the middle we remember, or just before the end we remember. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, if this happens, say Bismillahi awwalahu wa akhirahu, as this would make Satan or the devil throw up whatever they had consumed. So it is mandatory to say it. If you forget, then you say the dua that I've just said to you. And the sunnah, as per the hadith of Umar ibn Abi Salama, is to eat from what's in front of you and not to go and pick in front of other people. And at the same time, you eat only using your right hand side. Wallahu a'lam wa nisbatul ilmi ilayhi aslam wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala nabiyyina Muhammad.
Sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallallahu ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.